welcome back. Today, for Sober Sundays, I am going to be talking about, I don't know, I didn't think about it ahead of time. Let's see. I'm going to be talking about some things that I do in my pastime. Since becoming sober, I have had to redirect kind of what I do to minimize my boredom. So, whereas when I would be bored, I would get a drink, go out with friends, and that led to drunk driving, going to jail, getting an ankle monitor, all this stuff. I'll tell you guys about it eventually as we go on our Sober Sunday journeys. So today I am going to finish or try to finish. I'll put up a picture afterwards of one of the things I like to do in my pastime, which is coloring. So, of course, I got this book off Temu. And it was only like $5-6. It has a lot of really nice sayings in it. The one that I'm working on today is dream big, never give up. So things that I will be able to do now that I'm not completely drunk will be one, reading a book. I have to say I finished about 7 books, and I've been able to finish like 8 books of the Bible, which is really, really makes me feel like I made a really good accomplishment, a big one, because I used to love to read. I used to love to color, and I used to love to draw. All these things I cannot do if I'm completely drunk. So I'm enjoying doing my coloring, and a book that I'm reading right now is Bad Things Happen. That's like the 3rd book that I've been able to finish already this year. So not finishing yet, but I'm working on it. And so I wanted to talk about, what do we do in our boredom? What do we do to substitute our drinking or our substance abuse in general? What do we do? One thing that my mom always told me was to think back on, what did you do or what did you enjoy as a kid? Like, what did you enjoy doing that made you happy before you started partying or drinking and all this other stuff? And one of the things that I enjoyed doing was writing. Now, eventually, I am gonna write a book. Until then, I'll just be telling you guys, my stories. But I think that it's important that we do find something that we enjoy doing. A lot of people throw themselves in working out, which I've never been a workout girly, so that wouldn't be what I would do. Maybe when I grow up in my sobriety, maybe I'll start going to the gym then, but I'm not there yet, and that's okay. So I'm just doing the little things that I enjoy and that I miss. We often kind of miss the things that made us happy without having to have alcohol or without having to have some weed or whatever it might be for you. Something that is consuming your life. And one of the 12 steps is admitting that I've become powerless over my substance, and my life has become unmanageable. I think a life being unmanageable, even though we do try to lie to ourselves and say, I'm managing, I got it, I got a job, I'm showing up, might not be on time, or maybe you are being on time, maybe you're doing everything right at the job and you think you've got everything managed, but the unmanageable part comes in where you have to stop doing the things that you enjoy to have to feed that addiction or that obsession, to be able to keep going on with life. And I find that when I had to accommodate my addiction into my regular life, that is when I had to sit back and be like, this is becoming unmanageable. I can't paint anymore. I can't focus long enough to read a book. And I miss those things. And it's important to talk about how exciting it could be becoming sober, or starting your sober journey, or a loved one, and reminding them that there is things that you used to enjoy, so do them. So I started off doing my coloring and just getting completely lost in it, and being able to go into my imagination and being able to actually have a clear thought. And when I had a clear thought, I began being able to have a clear mind. I've been able to make clearer decisions, and all that comes with being able to sit with yourself and deal with yourself. And a lot of that time that we spend with ourselves, we should be doing something that we enjoy. So I want to encourage you to think about something that you haven't done lately that you want to do but haven't been able to do because of your obsession or your addiction or your substance use. And it would be good to challenge yourself maybe this week to try and do those things that you used to enjoy. Now, going back to the point of the first step, which is admitting that our lives have become unmanageable, that was one of the really harder things for me to admit, because I am such of a control person. I like to have it all figured out before having to figure it out. I like to have the answers. I like to know. And with life, you're not going to know everything. You can try, but you're not going to know everything. You're not going to know everything before it happens. You're not, life is unpredictable, but you can try to prepare as much as possible. But that's also like the joy in life too, right? Like the unexpected, something unexpectedly happening and it turning out to be beautiful and wonderful. So when my life had become unmanageable and I was able to actually admit that, I have to say it was probably when I had got my second DUI within like a month apart. I had thought I had it all under control. I could go out with my friends. I can, go to work the next day. But I had to get honest with myself and be like, I don't have it all together. I do not have it all under control. And, doing something over and over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. So I was literally insane, doing something that's insane. Expecting a different result is just insanity. So why not try something different? If you've been trying this one thing and it's been leading you to negative results every single time, why not? What does it hurt to try something different? And I guess a part of my channel is me wanting to let people know that it's okay to not have everything all the way together. It's okay to not have it all figured out. And you don't have to drink about it. You don't have to smoke about it. You can color, you can draw, you can write, you can skateboard, ride your bike, go for a walk, go, swing on the swings. These are all things that I like to do, but couldn't do because I was inebriated. And once you start being able to substitute your habit for something else, it's so freeing. It's just, you won't really know until you actually try. And I know that's easier said than done, because I've had people tell me that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, why don't you try it then? Why don't you try picking up, reading a book when you're bored, But it's possible. It's like I know one thing that people say that they missed a lot was reading. And you have to exercise that ability. You think not, but you really do. You have to exercise that ability to focus, to concentrate, to follow along, to comprehend what you're reading and being in the moment. And for some of us with attention span that is like this, that's kind of hard. Like for me, I need complete silence. And it's like a workout if other things are going on in the background or around me, and me still staying focused and reading what's on the page, focusing. That for me is something that I have to work on still. But right now, I can read as long as it's silent. But when it's not silent, it's a bit of a challenge, which is how I know that it's something that you have to work at constantly, especially when we've altered our minds and our bodies. We have to be kind to ourselves and patient with ourselves when we are picking up our new old things that we used to like to do. So be patient, because you're not going to pick up where you left off. You may not pick up where you left off, and that's okay. And you'll see what works best for you, and you'll see what makes you happiest. Some people have to quit their substance because of court. Some people have to quit their substances because of their health. And some people want to quit their substances because they're ready to start something new. They're ready to have something different than what their old habits are allowing them to experience. I have to say that I might have a bit of an advantage because growing up as an only child, I don't have to necessarily be around others, or I'm totally okay with just being by myself. It's nice to have other people around, of course, but I feel like it's just a little bit easier for me to be by myself and be able to explore the things that I used to like to do. One thing that I'm going to be working on is building my confidence up to start back painting. And that's what I'm doing right now by coloring, is seeing that I can see something through and seeing what it will be like after I've committed to something, and that commitment being finishing just this page, and not having to obsessively rush to get it done. It's something that I see for myself, of having to be patient. Not everything is going to happen overnight. Not everything is going to be perfect right away, and that's okay. I'll have to say that working my first step, well, first I'll tell you guys I'm on like step 3. There's 12 steps and I'm on step 3 still. And there's no time limit at all. It's something that is good to do with anything that has become unmanageable, to get back to center, to get back to self. So I'd have to say it was easier to get to step 2, to get to step 3, and so on and so forth, once I have admitted that I'm only as strong as my human body allows me to be, and by destroying it, putting substances that do not benefit me into my body, I'm working against myself. So admitting that I'm powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. I'm not managing it in the way that I know that I can if I wasn't adding substances to my life, mind-altering substances to my life. And for you, that may be working out. For you, that may be journaling. But just doing something that you used to love to do. What does that look like for you? And why haven't you, or what are your reservations on starting back doing that? If it made you happy, and if it made you a better person in a sense, what's stopping you from trying something different and going back to your roots? When I was younger, I loved just being within my imagination, storytelling. I loved being able to come up on the fly with some storyline. And as I got older, I was able to actually write down these storylines, and I would just get so lost in that. And I remember in my addiction just being like, man, I wish I could write down the storyline that I thought of today, but I didn't forgot about it now, or too intimidated to write it down. not being able to, afraid that I'm not going to be able to articulate correctly what it is that I'm imagining storyline wise in my head. And I have to say that is one of the perks of becoming sober, is if I feel like writing a story and spending all Saturday doing that, I can. If I feel like being in my creative mode and coloring and finishing that page, I can. And it might sound trivial, or it might sound like, I mean, I can still color, I can still write, I'm still managing. Then good for you. But for those of us that are like, I'm ready for a change, honey, I'm ready to do something different so I can get me some different results, then you gotta start one day. Why not today? Why not right now? When I went to look online, because I finished like a couple of coloring books already, adult coloring books already. So I went looking for another book, and I came across this one, and I liked that it had these positive sayings in them. Like I said, this one says, dream big, never give up. It's something about when you put focus on something else, but with a positive message. That's like if you're constantly, putting your efforts into something negative, you're going to get negative results. But if I'm constantly looking at the positive of things, then I'm going to more than likely get a positive result. Especially if my belief behind it is positive, I'm going to more than likely create a positive result. And another thing that I'm going to want to talk about is how the things that we put into our bodies, how that affects what we get out of our bodies. Well, that's for another day. But as I'm sitting here just talking through it and brainstorming with you guys, I have to say that once I had admitted that I was powerless and that my life had become unmanageable, and I started to do things that I can manage and that does yield me positive results, I started to become more confident. You would think like liquid courage, overly confident, right? Not really. Those things, substances take away from who you really are. And I started to not be as confident. I started to not be as outspoken as I am. I started to think too much about stuff that really wasn't anything to be thinking about, doubling down thinking about. Like, you thinking too much about it. So I have to say that it's been positive in that way of my art does come out good. My paintings are not Picasso, but they're mine and they're finished and they look great to me. And all I can do is just keep getting better. Once you start, all you can do is keep getting better. And it's okay not to become like the best of whatever you decide to do that's creativity wise, or that you used to like to do that you no longer do anymore. You don't have to become the best at it. It's what does it provoke out of you? Does it provoke happiness? Does it provoke joy? Does it make you want to help somebody? Does it make you want to eat better? Does it make you want to does it build up something positive in you? Anything. Does it make you not want to sleep as much? Does it make you more excited in the morning? That one little thing that you change can make a huge difference, and it's just like a trickle down effect. I found it's just a trickle down effect. It's like once I get this in order, then this starts becoming in order, and then this starts becoming in order. Like once I clean up my kitchen, then I'm able to look and see my living room might need to be cleaned up. Then once I clean up my living room, I'm able to see, oh, I need to start cleaning up my bedroom. I'm able to kind of move through, and eventually my whole house is going to be clean. Just because I started with the dishes in the sink, So I just wanted to encourage you guys on this Sunday. I never have a topic until I turn on the camera, so I appreciate you guys following along with me. And it's been a pleasure to be able to open up to you guys on Sundays and just give you a little piece of what I'm thinking. So maybe next Sunday we can talk about the second step and what I have thought about that, and how I've implemented it into my life. But until then, I'll see you I have started recording with my mother.
Why? Oh, you did for real. Turn it off.